The ice storm raged outside the research outpost as Dr. Kira Moss dragged herself across the frozen floor, leaving a crimson trail behind her. The Vassan hunters had been methodical, 12 ribs broken, the medical scanner would later report. 12 deliberate strikes from creatures who prided themselves on precision killing. They had wanted the location of the Scar's den, the abandoned predator cubs Kira had been sheltering in the lower levels. She told them nothing, so they'd taken their answers from her body instead. Each blow a question, each crack a threat. When she still refused, they sealed the outer doors and left her to freeze, certain the cold would finish what their claws had started. They hadn't known about the heating ducts. Zara found her first. The Scar cub was barely 4 tall, her obsidian scales dulled by malnutrition. Her vertical pupils dilated as she processed the scene. The broken human who taught her the constellations now sprawled like discarded machinery on the ice-slicked floor. She counted every injury, every labored breath. 12 reasons for vengeance. Get the pack, she hissed to her littermate Krev. All of them, now. As Kira's consciousness flickered, she heard them. Low-frequency growls resonating through the ductwork. The cubs were communicating in the infrasonic range their species used for hunting. Kira had spent 8 months learning their language, the only human who'd bothered to try. The airlock hissed. Kira braced for death, expecting the Vassan to return. Instead, Zara emerged, followed by 15 other cubs. They moved with predatory grace, carrying salvaged equipment and improvised weapons. No, Kira whispered through broken teeth. Run. They broke you. Zara interrupted, her voice carrying a deadly calm. 12 times. Krev approached, holding a medical injector scavenged from storage. We heard every crack through the vents. Every time you protected us instead of yourself. You fed us when we were starving. Taught us to survive this frozen hill. His claws retracted carefully as he administered the painkiller. Now we teach them what happens when they hunt our pack. The cubs worked with frightening efficiency. Some stabilized Kira's injuries with equipment they shouldn't have known how to operate. Others established defensive positions, their natural camouflage making them nearly invisible against the station's shadows. Zara coordinated everything with growls and tail signals. 3 Vassan remain in the outpost, she said quietly. They think we're prey animals that cubs can't hunt. Her scales rippled with barely contained rage. They had forgotten where scars were born, knowing how to kill. Kira wanted to protest, to order them away, but hypothermia was claiming her. Through the fog of pain, she felt something fierce and proud. These cubs had learned more than astronomy from her. They'd learned that family isn't defined by species. The station shuddered as something massive struck the outer wall. Through the reinforced glass, 3 Vassan approached, their armored hides glinting like oil in the emergency lights. Zara's pupils contracted to slits. 15 cubs coiled like springs. They had studied human military tactics on the research computers. They had watched Earth's apex predators hunt in coordinated packs. They understood what the Vassan had forgotten: size meant nothing without strategy. They counted us as prey, Zara whispered, resting her snout gently against Kira's frozen hand. They counted wrong. The airlock exploded open. The first Vassan stepped through, mandibles spreading in anticipation of finishing the human. It noticed Kira on the floor, still breathing, and seemed pleased. It never registered the cubs. They struck from every shadow, every vent, every angle the Vassan's limited peripheral vision couldn't cover. 16 small bodies moved as a synchronized killing machine, exploiting every gap in the hunter's armor. They'd mapped the weak points, the joints, the eye clusters, the soft tissue beneath the carapace plates. The battle lasted 90 seconds. The cubs fought with ancestral ferocity. Each movement instinctive yet calculated. They weren't fighting for survival. They were fighting for the human who had chosen them when no one else would. When silence fell, 3 Vassan lay motionless. The cubs were panting, some bleeding, but none had fallen. Zara returned to Kira's side, scales painted with blood that wasn't hers. 12, she said softly. We counted every broken bone, and now they've paid for all of them. Kira's vision tunneled, but she managed a weak smile. You shouldn't have, she whispered. You taught us about Earth's wolves, Zara interrupted. How they protect their pack, how they never abandon their own. Her eyes gleamed with fierce affection. We learned well, teacher. As unconsciousness took her, Kira heard the distant roar of rescue shuttles. The cubs had triggered every emergency beacon in the outpost. Help was coming, but the battle was already won. The cubs had ensured that. In the weeks that followed, as Kira healed in the station's medical ward, she learned the rest. How the Cubs had held the outpost for 2 hours against Vassan reinforcements. How Zara had negotiated with station command, speaking with the authority of a pack leader despite her age. How the galaxy's predator species had learned a crucial lesson. Never threaten the Scarex pack's chosen family. The Cubs visited daily, bringing her drawings of Earth animals and questions about distant worlds. Every time, Zara would curl beside her bed and whisper the same promise. 12 cracks. We counted, and we will count again if anyone threatens our pack. The Vassan never returned. Some attributed it to diplomatic intervention. Others knew the truth. The Cubs had sent a message written in action, not words. Harm our human, and you'll learn what predator cubs become when they choose to protect instead of hunt. Human strength wasn't in unbreakable bones. It was in the fierce loyalty we inspire, and the families we forge across the stars. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.